All right, this is the opening video for a series that I'm calling the Weekend Makeover. In the span of 48 hours, I take this bone stock 2012 Club Car DS or Dom Saporito model, and I turn it into what our family needs for the campground. The list of upgrades includes a rear seat to move all 5 of us around, heavy-duty leaf springs to carry more weight without sagging in the rear, 14-inch wheels with 22-inch tires, a 6-inch lift kit so the tires clear the fenders, a full headlight and taillight kit so we can drive throughout the campground, across some roads if needed, and then an underbody LED kit just, because I'm a nerd and I really like LED lights. This video is going to start off with the rear seat install. I ended up going with the Pro FX rear seat off of Amazon. The full color instructions that come with it are actually fantastic, but I figured I would follow this along on video just to help anyone decide. I paid $379 for it this summer of 2023. It's clearly winter now. Got my hoodie on. It's snowing outside, but it took me a while to pile this together. So I think it's worth every penny, and I will post a link below. All right, I'm at the campsite here. It's 8 in the morning. I'm going to try to be as quiet as possible, but I want to get started because I got a ton of stuff to put on. So we're going to start with the rear seat, which came really well packaged, if you ask me. Full color instructions. Everything is in plastic wrap and it's got layers of padding. So far it looks pretty good. So just gonna follow the full color instructions, see how far we get. All right, the seat bottom really pivots up and then comes right out. It's got these nice quick disconnect brackets. And then the seat back is just these 4 7/16 bolts that run through the back of it. So that came right off in about 1.5 minutes. Okay, the next step was taking the roof off. So it's just 2 of these per corner. Again, 7/16. Just get a little ratchet in a socket and you should be good to go. Pretty quick and easy. I've seen people do this where they only undo the back and then they prop it up with something, but my helper's sleeping and it took an extra 3 minutes, so whatever. Now I don't have to worry about breaking any of the plastic. Set that safely aside, and away we go. Next step. All right, next step was to unbolt 2 bolts right here for the seat support, the 1 carriage bolt from here, and then the whole rack comes off when you do that on both sides. Followed up by removing the rear bumper, which was these terribly crusty number 3 Phillips head on one side, 1/2 inch on the other. So make sure you actually have a number 3 Phillips so you don't end up stripping those. I'll have to look to see if this part is retained or if we get rid of that. But yeah, so far so good. These instructions are awesome. Okay, next step was to put on the rear bumper. So we just got to find that in the box, and then the package number 1 has these 10mm by 30mm bolts. You'll need some 17mm wrench and socket there to put those on, but pretty quick and easy there. All right, step 5 is to get all of the brackets on. So they tell you to reuse the mounting points here, but you can't because they are carriage bolts and these brackets do not have a square slot to hold the head, so it would just kind of spin around. You'd never be able to get it tight, but luckily they give you 2 extra bolts in bag 1 to snug down there. These are the only ones I'm really torquing down right now, just because I want everything else to be able to move a little bit for final assembly here. Then we'll tighten down these 2 in the front, and as of right now 2 in the rear are just kind of hovering above that rear bumper. That's step 5. Step 6 is the real first time the instructions weren't too terribly clear. So you gotta find the grab bar pack of bolts, and we've got some washers, some lock washers, and then the bolt. The nuts are welded onto this angle iron, so just get them started by hand, all 4 of them. Make sure that that's poking out the other way than these 2 brackets, and we should be good to go there. Unless I screw this up, because the instructions are pretty vague, but I'll update you if I do. All right, steps 8 and 9 are pretty easy. Just carry this whole big bench over as one piece, and it's 4 bolts, 17 millimeter. Just get them started. They got a washer on each side and a 9-lock locking nut, and then same thing on the other side, one on each corner. And it's starting to look like something. All right, this next step's a little tricky with one person, but essentially this bar goes on the inside, and then these armrest bars go on the outside. So what I did was I started with the countersunk bolt here. Again, just kind of hand take the hold in place. Then multi-handed here, hold this one up, stick the bottom bolt in first, washer on the outside, washer on the inside, lock nut, and then to make up the difference of the space of this thickness of angle iron here, they give you a rubber washer to put in the middle here. Same thing, bolt goes through, washer, rubber grommet, washer, locking nut, and then repeat for the other side. Okay, the last step before we tighten up any of this hardware that we just installed for the railings and side guards is to take these gusset plates, slide them up right in between, and put the bolt in here. And then we can get tightening everything down. Step 12 is pretty simple. Just take these 2 brackets and 4 bolts, and there's already nut inserts molded into this plastic. There's only 2 of them diagonally. Pretty straightforward. This next step's pretty easy. Just position the cushion under the open frame, start a couple of these, and then stick your strap where you want it, and then just tighten them all down. Okay, step 13 of these awesome instructions. Actually, are pretty damn good. You got to get this bracket on top of the bar, and then this front seat bracket up on top of that. For whatever reason, it took me a couple of minutes to actually get these both through. Lining them up was a little tough, but again, you got a second person, probably be a heck of a lot easier. Then just snug them up, and we're on to the next one. Okay, so the last bit's just this little grab bar. It's just the remaining 4 bolts that you got in the kit. Outer clamshell, inner support there. It's fairly sturdy. I mean, I think it'll be good enough for the kids. Next thing's going to be stiffer suspension, because I'd imagine once you get a little weight in the back there, it probably gets a little squirrely. But overall, you know, it is now 10:30, but I stopped for about 20 minutes to make a pot of coffee. So, I don't know, 2 hours and 10 minutes by yourself. Definitely possible. All right, that wraps up part 1. Again, I absolutely love that rear seat. I think it was worth every penny, $379. Link down below. 2 hours and 10 minutes to put it in. It has held up great all summer. The only additional thing that's not in here is I ended up putting on some cup holder armrests for the outsides, and they make it even better. And those were cheapy, $29. But we'll get to that in a later video when I throw those on. So thanks for watching. On to part 2.